We're actually the first generation ever that potentially won't die. And that's a big statement. And up until now, it's kind of been a false statement in a way because there's been no one come here and not pass over. However, now with some of the longevity and some of the AI and some of the computational power and the awareness coming through and the new information coming through, I genuinely feel like we may be the first generation to solve anti-aging.
Welcome everyone to season 4 of the Eons Ahead podcast. And on the show, we like to have deep, intimate conversations with amazing people that are eons ahead. But what does it mean to be eons ahead? Well, it means they're ahead of their time and they see things other people don't see, and they're able to communicate these visions to the world, manifesting them into reality, making a positive impact for humanity. They're trailblazers, they're pioneers, they're leaders in their space. And my guests today are definitely all of the above. They're two amazing entrepreneurs, business partners that have created something so epic. It's a brand that I truly admire, that I take every day and has changed my life. And I'm so excited to dive in with them today. Their name is David Reid and Brad McDonnell. They're epic human beings. They're super tapped in, and we have an amazing conversation ahead of us today. So they're definitely eons ahead. They're friends, they're brothers. They're here today. David and Brad, welcome.
Thank you, Alex.
Thanks, Alex.
That's the best intro I've ever heard in my life.
All right, well, we set the bar. Now we got to deliver. So let's rock and roll here, fellas. You guys have created something so awesome. And as a fellow founder of a supplements company and entrepreneur, I just want to take my hat off to you and say you guys have created something truly epic here. And it's epic in many ways, and it's epic in the sense that it really helps transform people's lives. And I'm a big believer in the power of a name, and the name MANNA. It's biblical, truly. It's the spiritual nourishment of life. So I'd love to get to the genesis of how you guys got to the name of MANNA and start off with there and just start with the genesis story of the name.
Yeah, again, thanks for that intro. It's really precious. And MANNA means so much to us. We have been in the development of MANNA for over a decade. And the journey took us to many places, but in particular, the Himalayas, the Middle East, and also Egypt.
Wow.
Where these sacred alchemical substances were revealed to us. And one of them is known as MANNA, which is a Hebrew word meaning supernatural food. And at different times, we were going to call the brand many different things. And MANNA just kept coming in strong. And that's what it's meant to be. There's a lot more kind of depth into the word and into the frequency of the word, actually. Anna, the grandmother of Joshua, and Na is kind of like a lot of indigenous tribes use the frequency of Na. But I think we can leave it at there for now, as that supernatural food. And the equivalent of MANNA in Egypt is mufkat, which also refers to edible gold or ormus.
I love that. Wow, there's a lot of ties into the sound and the frequency of the word as well. So it's more than just a word. It's a sound vibration that people are ingesting along with the powerful product in itself, the minerals. And let's dive into the minerals aspect of it. Obviously, it's a big part of the business. It's a kingdom. A lot of people don't know that minerals is their own kingdom. Along with the plant kingdom and fungi kingdom and animal kingdom. So obviously there's a lot of power in a kingdom, right? If the creator created these kingdoms on earth. Let's dive into the power of minerals and how you guys got involved into minerals and the journey that they've taken you on in your life as well.
You go first.
Well, we look at minerals in a way of the building blocks of all life. And when you're talking about the kingdoms, it's like all life is coming from that kingdom through God, let's call it, as a language. So the fundamental principles for us are the minerals are the elements and the building blocks for all of life. So that's I guess, where we've sort of discovered along the path as well, how integral they are to the biology for us to survive and thrive. So yeah, just basically going on those journeys and discovering that a lot of those ancient texts and ancient cultures all were talking about basically the same thing in and around minerals in those kingdoms. So really just basically following the path of those texts and then going on those journeys and then falling in love with that sort of way of being and then realizing that that's the path and that that's the purpose of what MANNA's about. And I guess individually for both David and I, David's had his experiences and his relationship with the minerals. And I guess I've had my experience and relationship with the minerals as well. And it was always the thing along the journey too with the minerals. It was like we'd let them go. So over that 10-year journey, it wasn't congruent. You know, there was moments where we'd put it down and would work on other things.
Okay.
But there would always be something, and you'd probably have the same relationship with the mushrooms, right? Is like there's always a whisper, and once it gets into you, and it's your calling, and it's that light that comes through you, you just can't let it go. And there's been a lot of times along the journey where we've left it, and we've been somewhere like we were in Tasmania, the most western, wildest place on earth, and I just had this amazing like voice in my head or calling in our head, just said, we got to pick this up again. I had so much pain going through my body. I had it just recovering from a broken foot from surfing. And it just like, it was just so obvious that we just had to keep pushing. I think we talked about it earlier. There's so many times where you've just got to keep eating those shit sandwiches.
Yeah. I've eaten a lot of those in my life.
Yeah. So it's sort of like a bit of a broad overview, but individually we've got both a different relationship with the minerals and how that sort of relates to sort of our lives and where we see things as well.
Cool. I love the way that you frame that. For me, it's all relationships. Everything in life is relationships, starting with our relationship with the creator, God, life, our romantic partners, our business partners, and we'll get into all this kind of stuff as well. But let's focus on this relationship, and I'd love to hear the difference of the relationship that you guys had with the minerals, because it's all relationships. And now you guys have formed this amazing relationship with the minerals so much that, you know, you're stewarding them into the world in such a cool, powerful way, changing all kinds of lives all over the world. So I'd love to hear your different relationships that you guys each have with the minerals.
Yeah, for me, it's without our minerals, our frequency can't fire. And, you know, Nikola Tesla said, if you want to know more about the universe, focus on energy, frequency, and vibration. And then there was another beautiful Nobel Prize winner last century, Linus Pauling, that said all illness and disease can be traced back to a lack of minerals in the body.
Right.
And then understanding there's a group of 12 salts, understanding that we're a crystalline structure, a body of seawater. So we don't have those salts. There's parts of our expression that's compromised. And really looking at the minerals, the way I look at them now is the first principles of health. What I mean by that is every other aspect of nutrition is built from minerals.
It's like you said, really the building blocks. So it's like the foundational piece to it all.
Correct.
Of our beingness.
Correct. Every other molecule, whether it's protein, fat, carbohydrates, any other food, the first principles, the foundational layer of all of those molecules are the minerals.
Wow.
And that periodic table is really the map of the minerals for our reality. And all of those minerals are actually little energetic centers, little toruses, little spins. And so they have their own geometry. In the center of that spin and geometry is a singularity where they connect with each other as well. So with our body being the most intelligent technology in the universe,
absolutely,
when we give access to all of those building blocks, our body has access to all of those nutrients, and then we can have the charge and the cellular hydration and the cellular nutrition that our body can then become that highest expression as a crystalline matrix to oscillate with the field, which the resultant of that is a much clearer, much more coherent, much more light experience of this reality. And at MANNA, that's our prayer for everybody, is to be able to get out of those denser frequencies, have more light, and experience this reality as the garden, as heaven on earth, which
Heck
it is.
yeah. So good, dude. Yeah, amen to that. Amen. Wow. Letting that land for a second. That's so beautiful. It's really allowing ourselves to build the foundational core as creators so that we can absorb more light, and then so that we can share it with others and get them to remember that they are these light beings as well, and bring heaven on earth. So cool. I'd love to dive into more of how this relationship with the minerals has affected other relationships in your life. Obviously, if it's been such a foundational piece of it all, but we'll circle back to that. I want to hear Brad's own, relationship with the minerals as well.
Yeah, I'll actually tell a little funny story. And I guess that's sort of the antidote for me with the minerals is more, I guess for me, it's really experiential. I'm all about the body. So anything to do with the biology, the physiology, and how that works is really like my wheelhouse. And that's why we laugh a lot. We have a lot of experiences where it's like dropping in and just getting these intuition hits. And as Dave talks about, it's like a charge. Like what we're all about at MANNA is the charge, that cellular charge. From a scientific point of view, but from an anecdotal point of view, we were playing around with a lot of ormus, right? Dave we were living in a cabin, not dissimilar to the way that this podcast studio is, right? And we're having this incredible times. We were just like, we had all this medicine everywhere. It was like a lab. So Dave's the crazy scientist concocting all of these little things. He's going, bro, you're going to have to try this. And this ormus was just like piling out of the beacon, the scientific beacon. Had like scientific beacons all over there. And I just started eating it and bathing in it. And I was reading this book called from a gentleman called Manly Pig Hall. I don't know if you've ever heard of
Manly
it.
Pig Hall,
Yeah, Secret Teachings of All Ages. And it's got all of the secret society, all of the like the Egyptians, all of like Pythagoras, all of that's in there. And talking about charge and light, as soon as I started eating it and bathing myself, it was all in my hair. Like I just kept reading and it all was just making sense. And before that, I was really struggling with the book. And nothing's by coincidence, right? So I started reading this book. I stayed up for like days just consuming this book.
Wow.
Yeah. And that had a specific part in it, which was that Philosopher's Stone. And then it just hit me. I went, so that's my direct experience and relationship with it. Is like it's got to be felt.
Right.
And it's all about the charge. And it's all about coming back online to receive all of those light codes, all that, let's call it information. That's already there. That's in the field or in the universe or supplied by God, depends where you sit on it. But just that lived experience and going, there's so much infinite light that's available to us. We need that light from a biological point of view to actually absorb it and have access or come online to like turn you on. So yeah, that's my, I guess to summarize my experience with the minerals.
Wow.
So, yeah, it was a cool experience and fundamentally changed my whole life.
Yeah.
And how I looked at it.
I feel that. It feels like a transformational thing. Like you're saying, you weren't like resonating or the book wasn't being absorbed until you changed yourself. You changed your cells, and then your cellular level started resonating with the information in the book. These codes are matching up.
Yep.
And then you're coming online and there's a charge. With this charge, would you say it's like a lighting up type of feeling, or how would you describe this charge? What do you think is going on there when that charge is happening?
Yeah, well, I feel like there's like, if we look at the body as a battery, right? And if we go, there's an area and the body from a resonance point of view and a dissonance. So the more we're in dissonance, I guess we're closer to disease, inflammation, and we're really not in line with probably how we should be living our life. And that's probably epigenetics or our environment. That's that part. Resonance is when we're in flow or we're doing things that we feel like we're called to, like what we talk about often is your passion or, your purpose. And that's, I feel like, when we're sort of oscillating, and that's where the cell and the charge sort of comes into it. It's like what we talk about, like if we can get that cell closest to, minus 70 millivolts, we're all sitting around about minus 20 and in disease or like anything like that, we're so far like we're in the positive. And so we're like, how I see it is if we can get the charge and access to the building blocks of all life, which is minerals, then we're closer to that minus 70 where the cells are just oscillating at such a high frequency or high velocity that they've got access to more of this information. And that's where we're sort of saying that's where your pristine blueprint is or where your light is. And that's when that, you're closer to that Merkaba or that vibrating frequency where you've got access and you can consume that information that's ready for it. Because God or the universe won't give you that if you're not in that frequency.
Right. You wouldn't even be able to recognize it, right?
Nah, you can't. So coming online, that's what awareness is. You're like wearing. It's like back in the words again. We're like wearing that light.
I love that.
Yeah,
I've never heard it put like that before. I love that. Awareness for me has really been my virtue. It's really been the thing that's guided me, and along with that pulse, that charge. Once I get that pulse, that charge, it's like the soul is in communication, and the soul starts running the ship. I like to use the analogy of the soul is like the commander and the mind is like the general and the body is like the soldier, and they're all working together. But for a long time in my life, the general was just running the show with no direct comms to the commander, and he's doing his best. He's trying to figure things out and he's going down rabbit holes and he's playing on the chessboard of life but he didn't have the commandments from the soul, and the soul is connected to the source, right? Which we all are. It's so, but lately in the last couple of years, the comms are coming through from the soul, and now the general is just taking orders. And I'm saying all this because it's like when I get that light up feeling, the charge that you call it, Brad, that's where it's like I really know I'm onto something, and the light is just coming through, and I'm able to recognize it, in other beings like yourselves, and it's attracting more of these beings, and life is getting really fun as well. Like it's a lot more enjoyable of a ride, surprisingly. We've been through so many challenges as entrepreneurs, and we talked a little bit about this before the podcast, and we'll dive into that. But it's really being guided by this charge and this soul communication. And I'm sensing that the minerals are playing a huge part in this, as these light activators. So, I'd like to go back to David and how, by you forming this relationship with these building blocks, how has it transformed the other relationships in your life? I know you're recently married, you have a beautiful new baby girl. So take us back a little bit on this journey of how you formed the relationship with the minerals and how this reflected back to you into your life with these beautiful relationships.
Yeah. Well, the relationship with the minerals, like I said, I guess it was recognizing them as energy centers and building blocks of life, like Brad said. So the importance of that being like a first principles of health. And then really the extension of that was ormus, which is those minerals in other energetic states, which has like a superconductive component, which we can get into. And then also recognizing gold as one of those minerals. And gold is the only substance that holds all of the different light waves from the sun.
Wow.
And so there was a lot of advanced civilizations throughout antiquity that spoke about gold in different ways to how we relate to it. And they spoke about editable gold.
Right.
So the journey of finding out different ways of taking the metal gold and making it bioavailable and allowing those light codes to be consumed and accepted by the body in a way that could then build up our quotient of light and introduce something called energetic coherence. And really, energetic coherence is a state where all of our cells become nodes in a universal field of light.
Wow.
And when that takes place, we use the term a biophotonic superconductor. And that's the opportunity of our vehicle, is to become a biophotonic superconductor, where the beautiful thing with that is we've got like a crystalline mind. We've got the intuition of like a satellite. Our immune system becomes impenetrable, and our experience of life becomes true joy. And we get more layers of peace. We get more layers of awareness. And so that you can then take that into your relationship. You can then take that into your family. You're then attracting that from the field. So you have access to new ideas, you have access to new inspiration. And that's really our mission at MANNA, from my perspective, is to give everybody access to that light, to that superconductivity, so that they can also experience their relationships, their family, and their own life in that way.
Wow. So beautifully said. Thank you, brother, for sharing that. Really becoming the light and having one's own transformational journey from bringing these, call them dead cells or cells that are just offline into online, and then the self-realization and the self-awareness that comes with that, and then being able to reflect and mirror that into other relationships. What a gift, huh? What a gift this is set up for. So cool.
And it's the time we're in too, right? Like we're even hearing politicians talk about the golden age,
right?
Liberation Day. So we often talk about genetic liberation. And, we're in this beautiful part of the cycle now where we're actually the first generation ever that potentially won't die. And that's a big statement. And up until now, it's kind of been a false statement in a way, because there's been no one come here and not pass over. However, now, with some of the longevity and some of the AI and some of the computational power and the awareness coming through and the new information coming through, I genuinely feel like we may be the first generation to solve anti-aging.
Yeah, I'm with you. I'm glad you brought that up. I was thinking about that too, and I was wondering if it was going to get brought up. So it's very cool that you did. It's in the field. And what's coming up for me when you said all that was, as we are becoming or even remembering that we are these light beings, with our cells becoming more and more online, more and more as the light of the world. Well, light doesn't die, right? So if we're more of light, then, and we're becoming more, and God is light, the creator is light, like the sun, hydrogen. So if we're becoming more and more like God, God doesn't die, God is immortal. It's like, wow, there's really a timeline here that's opening up, that we're becoming immortal. We're becoming our true selves, like the creator, like we're made in his image. So very fascinating. And it's no surprise to me. Like, I believe we chose to come here. I believe our soul, it was very much a choice. And so it's no surprise to me that our soul would choose to come back in this time, where things have been for sure challenging, but in those challenges, how we grow. And then when we get through those challenges, it's very rewarding. And now it's like, okay, now we're ready to steward these new light codes to share with others. So very interesting.
Yeah, and when you're talking there, it's like light can't die. It's eternal in how it's like light cannot die. It's eternal in its whole matrix.
Right. And energy.
Yeah.
And so energy
light is energy.
It's just transforming.
Yeah.
I'll give you a physical example. of how we could actually not die that I'm just thinking of now as we're sitting here. So Brad spoke about how each cell has the potential of sitting at minus 70 millivolts, which is 0.07 of a volt. We've got 37 trillion cells in the body. So if you times 37 trillion by 0.07 of a volt, you get a potential of 2.5 trillion volts in the body.
Wow.
Now, it's not recognized that way because our cells don't have the intercellular communication, or I'm an electrical engineer, so I can see that as like a synchronized in phase. When you're lining up batteries, again, the word cell gives us a hint. A battery, if you're lining up a battery in phase, the cell membrane potential or the voltage accumulates. And at the moment, our cells are operating in isolation. But as soon as they come online and that intercellular communication through light and charge is recognized, we become this superhuman, which is what we're evolving into. And that's what we mean by a biophotonic superconductor, is it's this timeless, ageless vessel and vehicle that's so full of light and charge that it is immortal and it's fully aligned with all the codes of the sun.
I love it. Wow. Yeah. I'm here for it. I truly resonate with all of it. And I have a not so secret belief that we're here to unlock these superpowers that we've all been given from the creator. And this is what's forming here in this, this timeline.
It's only a matter of time.
Yeah.
It may not happen this generation. It might take 100 years, 1,000 years.
Yeah.
But I believe with the exponential, everything's going exponential now.
Right.
And so that's where things could happen, potentially will happen much faster than we can
even think of. And I agree with you. And this is what I see, a little bit of a pivot here, but this is what I see what's happening with AI, artificial intelligence. It's also really an artificial evolution. You know, things are happening so fast. And with that, there's a lot of everything that comes with that. There's a lot of benefits. There's a lot of, crazy things that could happen. But in that, the polarity of it is I'm really leaning into the organic intelligence. As the artificial intelligence is coming up, I'm balancing it out with the organic intelligence, with the kingdoms, the minerals, the mushrooms, knowing that these are eternal. And really trying to restore balance to this artificial evolution, to bring up this organic evolution that does unlock our superpowers. And I believe it could happen a lot sooner than we think as well. So on that note, I feel like we have the solution here is focusing on the kingdom, starting with the minerals as the building block, and then adding these other technologies from nature, like the mushrooms that are like these antennas and this other technology. What would you say is some things that are getting in people's way of, what's some things that are getting in the way that we can remove so that they can tap into these building blocks? Like, where would you see are patterns that maybe friends or people that are letting them get in the way?
That's a good question for you.
Yeah, that's a great question. Yeah, I feel like it's I spoke about it yesterday on another podcast with a mutual friend of ours, Josh. It's like that addiction. I feel like as our human expression or our human experience, we're all addicted to something. It's just the nature of who we are as a human. And I feel like the addiction, it's back to the words again. Like the last 12 months, I've been geeking out on words and how they're actually pronounced and how they look. It's like addiction's just the adding. And I think for me, it's being in the space of less. So instead of addiction is just like adding more stuff. So it's almost like saying, well,
like you're not enough, so you're adding something to it. Is that where you're going with it?
Totally. And
that's a trap. Yeah,
it's a trap, and it's just keeping things super simple. And it's one of David's favorite saying in the business. And super simple is hard. Simple's not necessarily easy.
Yeah,
and that's what I feel like the missing things are, is the discipline to keep things simple versus adding things which is easy.
That's
And
good.
I think that's my, I used to be a big advice giver and, sit on a hill and give advice, but now it's just like, and I think that's part of the journey, part of the trap as well, as
Right.
when you become aware,
Uh-huh.
you feel like you can, you've got the green light to give information, but
It's a
that's
slippery
all
slope. Yeah.
Yeah, and that's all bullshit too.
Yeah.
So for me, the answer, that's the simplistic answer for me, is just like less.
Mm-hmm.
And that's putting attention on, the things that we can control and the things that we can't control, the things that are in my wheelhouse that I've been given, God's given right to be good at.
Mm-hmm.
Stick to that.
Mm-hmm.
And, not always having a comment about things that I've got no idea about.
Mm-hmm.
So that's how, and I guess me living my life is probably the best advice I can do. And I'm not perfect and I stuff up all the time.
Mm-hmm.
Probably not as much as I used to. But I think that's probably being that guiding light and back to living a certain way. And I think we talked about it earlier. Like, all I focus on now is like 24 hours. Like, what's my perfect day? And that's my mantra. Like, what's my perfect day? And make sure I've got all the minerals that I need. That's always taking the best source of minerals that we can provide, which is, a sachet of MANNA in the morning, and then getting myself and putting attention and focus on what my purpose is. And it's been a lot of hard work to get to that and know what I'm good at, and then get to a place in midday where I work out for a couple of hours. And that's not working out hard, but it's like switching off from what we're doing from a work-wise, just to give myself, and then just eat well and just make sure I get the best water I can, get the best light I can, get out in the early part of the day and the late part of the day. And what we've been talking about is relationships. Just making sure I nourish those relationships and charging those up as well. And I think it just starts with just looking in and doing less. It's probably a long answer to that question, but
it's a great answer. And I agree with you. Doing less and looking within. And I'd say, as we're, the question was, what are people doing that's getting in the way? Well, they're doing the opposite of that. They're looking outward and looking for things outside of them, and then trying to add things to their plate to like fill some sort of void that only gets filled by looking within and realizing that one is more than enough. One is abundant. We talked about abundance prior to the podcast.
And I've had it. I've had experience with a lot of people that are super successful, right? Where they've got all the things and all the money, and they've done well. And we've sat on a couple of podcasts with people, and they're going, "You did what? And you operate how?" And it's like they can actually feel what we've done and how we live our lives, and that's a big difference. Is like, we're not looking outside of ourselves, and we talk about it often. If it all goes, I know David's going to be all right, because I know the place that he's gone to himself internally, he's reached such a beautiful space within inside himself that he's going to be fine. And he knows that about me as well. But it's all from the elements. It's all from being in nature, and it's all being experiential. And I think the trap is like, you can walk down South Congress Ave here, and you can go into a beautiful store and the smell of the leather, and you can touch the shoes, and you can try the nice hat on. And it's also sexy, but that's part of the experience too, right?
Sure.
Having the nice things and being abundant, but not being attached to it.
Not being attached. Yeah. Well said. Well said, Brad.
Yeah, we feel super fortunate that for a period of our life, we renounced everything and went out into nature and found so much beauty and peace in that space. And I remember one time I was in the desert for 3 months with very little, and there was a mantra that just kept coming through. And it was, within the simplicity, the magic of life is remembered. And with the slowing down and just the observing nature, whether it was watching an ant or watching a bee, and realizing like what it took behind that ant or bee, like the amount of energy and intelligence that was taking place behind that action.
Mm-hmm.
And then when you're integrating back into the world that has so much more things happening, and you're thinking, wow, the energy, the light, the intelligence behind that expression is so profound.
So profound.
And it's so easy to miss that when you're in addiction of adding more things and layering more things on.
Yeah.
Because that magic kind of fades.
Yeah.
But slowing down, being in nature, you can really have that. And I know that you know this so well, and that's why I can see that same light in your eyes, and there's so much respect for everything you have done and are doing, is because you get what we're saying. And it's like there's such a peace there that, like what Brad said, if all of the busyness or the projects or the material world was taken away from us tomorrow, we would be just as happy and just as peaceful sitting around a campfire or sitting.
Sounds good, right? Yeah.
or sitting at the ocean and having a swim in the ocean. And, you know, and it's really important to us, and we still do all those things weekly, if not daily. And that's why we love living in Australia and immersed in nature where we are. And it's so beautiful, so precious.
So beautiful, so precious. It brings up so much for me. It's like, and you mentioned this word earlier, Brad, before we started rolling, about one of your mentors with the paradox, you know, it's like, and it's really such a paradox because it's all there in nature. It's so simple. Like you're saying, we could just sit around the fire, watch the butterflies and the bees and the ants. And it's like, it's all there, this divine intelligence. And like every animal is in its own world. And it's so freaking cool, you know? And then we take on this journey as entrepreneurs, right? And then there's like more and more responsibilities that we get to, you know, that get bestowed up on us. And it's really a privilege because we get to do it so we can, you know, learn all this stuff so that we could share it with others, right? And then they can have their own, you know, decluttering, unlearning journey of their own, you know. But it's really such a paradox because it's like we're almost, for me, I'll speak for myself, but it's like going through this whole journey just so I could get back to sitting around the fire and then having these fireside chats and being like, hey, remember when we did all this wild entrepreneur stuff to create these companies and stuff? It's so funny.
Yeah, we talk about it often and laugh. Like, I know when things are starting to get like a bit tense and stuff like that, and I'll have a laugh and I'll ring David up and he'll know that something's going on, right? Like, but it's almost like I sort of break away and start saying like, oh, it'll be hilarious one day when we're sitting on a porch, you know, can hardly walk, move, and we're sitting there on a rocking horse, just like on a rocking chair, just going back and forth, just having a bit of a laugh about it. Remember that time we're in Austin and we, you know, did this and that. It's just like how quick it goes as well.
Yeah.
And it's just that paradox of life that you're talking about. That same mentor said to me, he said, oh, and I was complaining about something, which I was at the stage of my life then. And he said, Brad, all you got to worry about is work is worship. And that sort of stuck with me for a long time, still sticks with me now. It's like, oh, when you said work, like that's a privilege, like that's the way to look at it, because all life is worship. And like if you can just spin it, like it's just a simple spin.
Yeah.
But if you do it, like, or it's there's disasters happening, or it's an opportunity.
Right. Is
it a disaster or is it an opportunity?
Right.
But that only comes with a lot of hard work and a lot of reps, you know, and a lot of eating of shit sandwiches. But I think it's like, and that's where David's brilliant as well, is like when there's something that looks like a disaster, it's always seen as an opportunity and we can go through it.
Right.
And vice versa too. So it's just balancing that out as it's a paradox, and work is that worship. And it's not a disaster, it's an opportunity.
Yeah, exactly. It's all perspective shift, right? And it's shifting. For me, what's happening is it's shifting from the conditioned mind that's been conditioned to think things are happening in a way that they shouldn't be happening. But meanwhile, it is happening and it's all perfect. So if it's like, then just that shift And I love how you keep bringing up the words, right? The power of words because that's really how we get to rewrite the story as creators of the story, as we're the author and the main character and the antagonist, even sometimes, we're all these characters at once. And it's really about, the framing of the words of what it is. It changes everything. It changes the whole relationship to that moment, which is all that's really happening, is this present moment. And it's such a wild ride, this life. I love it so much. I'm in this like deep epic story with love and life. It's so cool. And I know you guys feel that. So let's take it back a little bit to, unless there's something coming up for you when I say that you guys want to share. Or,
yeah, there's only one thing. It's like what David was saying about MANNA, and we're talking about, supernatural superfood, right?
Mm-hmm.
It's almost like that when that word's been spoken so many times, MANNA, I'm ordering. Have you heard of MANNA? Like it's almost what we were saying before. Everything's like sound and light and frequency.
Mm-hmm.
And it's almost like, I've never really thought of it. To remembering for me now is like, the more people are talking about MANNA, what's that doing to the physical vessel?
Mm-hmm.
And it's been a spoken word.
Mm.
And what I mean by that, it's like a vibration that starts in the body.
Mm.
So when people start saying, have you heard of MANNA? Or have you heard of this product? It's actually it's a vibration in the solar plexus and going through the heart and going through the throat chakra. So it's going through all of the chakras, right?
Mm-hmm.
All the energy bodies, all energy systems in the body and working their way up.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, it's incredible that those words are just vibrations that hold our frequency.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, it's so profound. And, it's that word for a reason. It holds these vibrational codes that is unlocking a deep remembering within us, that it's eternal. It's really like this nourishment of the soul. And, I remember somewhat in the biblical story where it's like, that's what the people, I think it was the Israelites, where they were traveling, that's what they had to eat every day, was this dew, right? This and then it was gone after the next day, but it showed them that every day there's more than enough, right? And it's right there. It's all within nature. It's so cool. And I love how it's, and like you said earlier, Nikola Tesla said, energy, frequency, vibration. This is the secrets to the universe. And these words get thrown a lot here in Austin, right? It's a very woo-woo town, but it's really like one has the awareness of what's really going on with this sound, vibration, and frequency, and giving more and more focus and attention, like you said, Brad, to that, we really start to unlock that we're these instruments of the creator.
Mm-hmm.
And it's such a beautiful process, so that we can make this wonderful music together and dance this beautiful dance that we're having in life. It's really a dance. And it continues to flow. And in that dance, I know you guys have had a wild entrepreneurial spiritual journey together. You guys started a long time ago, over 12 years ago. And I have a lot of young entrepreneurs that watch this show. And I'm sure there's been many lessons along the way, and blessings, of course. I'd love to hear just like one or two sacred lessons that you guys got as entrepreneurs when things got pretty tough, and and you just kept going through to maybe inspire some of these young entrepreneurs that are listening.
Yeah, Brad and I have been friends for 30 years.
Wow.
Which is super helpful. So we've been through everything together.
Yeah.
Since we were teenagers, through our 20s, 30s, and now 40s. So that helps. But as the entrepreneurial side, I guess it's really, for me, I feel super blessed because the minerals, the salts, the gold, the ormus, I know it's my life's work.
Mm-hmm.
And so it doesn't matter how tough things get or what happens in a certain area of our project, I like to call it, instead of business. But it could be something challenging with packaging, as an example, like the sachets that MANNA, the sachets that MANNA comes in, because we deal with shilajit that we get from above 16,000 feet. It's a black resin that's very tricky to administer and deliver. Most people put it in jars. We did that for years. However, there's many reasons why it's tricky that I won't go into now. But finding a delivery mechanism for that, with the sachets, we're actually in R&D with those for 5 years.
Wow.
And so you can imagine how many times we wanted to give up, but it was just, no, we want to provide something new to the market that's innovative, that makes their life simple and easy and saves them time, because they can just pull it out of a packet in their kitchen and put it into a drink and drink it.
Right. Wonderful user experience, Yeah.
That's it.
Yeah.
So because I have that relationship with the elements and with the minerals, then I know I'm going to get the answer for the next step. I don't know when that next step will come. And it mightn't be the whole solution. It might just be the next step. However, if I'm putting my attention on that, then the universe will give that back.
Right. Yeah. So cool.
So that I would say that's a really great tip for an entrepreneur, is like find what you love and don't have, give it everything you've got, as much as you can. But then also understand, like, let the universe guide you and show you the next step, and treat it as a journey that you can enjoy. That's really important. Like, we have a bit of an ethos within MANNA. We don't want it to be a job. We don't want it to be work. We don't like signing contracts. We don't like having standard operating practices, because for us, that reminds us of our old corporate world.
Right.
And we want this to be fun. We want this to be about relationship and trust and love and joy.
Yeah.
So, that would be my response.
I love it. That's so good. That's so good. And it's really changing the paradigm, right? And loving life, loving what you're doing, having this mission that's guided from the charge, the pulse, from the soul, and knowing that's the thing, and showing up to that every day, as a gift. And then, like you're saying, allowing the universe, the God, life, to meet you in that relationship, right? And it's not, and that's where I'm sensing it, is like, it's really how one shows up to the relationship. Like, hey, I'm here to give to this relationship. I'm here to help and steward. And then the universe is like, okay, great. You're here to give and receive, and then get to allow it to unfold. Right. And not force one's way. The
other thing that's coming to mind that I really want to share is it's a philosophy of mine that I heard from a mentor, Nassim Haramein, who's a theoretical physicist. And he said, the deeper you go within, the greater impact you can have on the universe. So, it's not always about drop shipping or adding things on or finding the next dollar. But as a young entrepreneur, if you can create the space in your life to see what it is that's your life's work and what you're really passionate about, then and find that stillness and that space that we've been talking about by going out into nature or whatever, then that will guide you. And you'll be able to have the biggest impact in whatever you decide to do as an entrepreneur.
So good. That's a gem right there. Yeah, going within, knowing oneself, will truly set you free. And when free, you're liberated. You are the open vessel now for the universe to utilize you, getting out of one's own way. Yeah,
the truth will set you free.
The truth.
We like to think the truth of who you are.
Right.
Discovering the truth of who you are.
Is freedom. It's freedom. Yeah, it's the best. So good, Dave.
The big thing with a lot of that too is like the awareness, back to the awareness as well, as like making a ton of mistakes is probably the big thing. Is like,
is there really mistakes?
Yeah, and that's just using like a terminology, like we've made so many. but they've been
Me too.
our greatest gifts, right?
Right.
Like they've been part of the like, we're glad we've done that. We've just had something recently where Dave just said, I'm so glad we've done that because I didn't want to like finish this project without knowing that we didn't do that.
Mm-hmm.
I'd be feeling like, we should have done that.
Mm-hmm.
So basically just giving whatever it is. And the other thing is like that intuition, I guess, where Dave and I have known each other for such a long time. He's brilliant at a few things within the business, like acutely, like broadly a lot of things, but acutely are like taking those big risks and knowing when like, and mine's the intuition of like, no, we've got to do this and go this way. So pairing those two things together, if it was one tip for like partnerships, is knowing what you're bringing to the table as an entrepreneur or as a partnership is really important. And then obviously Dave and I, he knows all of my weaknesses. I know all of his weaknesses and he knows all of my strengths and all my strengths, and he focuses on my strengths and I focus on his strengths.
Right.
And that's really, really important as like partnerships would probably be my thing to add to that is like get really good at that thing, like David's saying, going within and just doubling down on that.
Yeah.
And don't worry about any of the other stuff.
Yeah.
And if you're in a partnership, understand what they're really good at and what you're bringing to the table.
Yeah.
It's crucial because that's when it'll fail.
Yeah. That's fantastic advice. I agree. And it's the same relationship that I have with my business partner, Jeff. And that's what we do. We focus on each other's strengths, and like, I'm leaving the spreadsheets to somebody else. I'm not fucking, you know what I mean? Like, I just focus on what I'm good at, which is the visionary stuff and creating.
That stewardship, like that's like, and that's what, when you're talking about the kingdoms, it's like that we've got an opportunity to steward these incredible minerals, right? That are the building blocks of all life. And I can see exactly what you're doing. You can see it in your eyes and the reverence and the attention to detail and the passion and the love that you've got for these mushrooms. It's like, there's so much respect going both ways. You can see it, and it's just like, it's such a beautiful thing to see.
Yeah.
And it'd be like a disservice to yourself and God if you were like typing away on a spreadsheet, right? And it's the same for Dave. I wouldn't want him sitting and doing that. Like we laugh when some of that stuff has to be done, but it's like, it's just like, why would you want someone to do that?
Yeah.
It's like, it's pain. It's back to pain and suffering again. Like, and that's what I like to think with AI is just, we talk about it often as AI is going to solve a lot of those things that people don't want to do, that then your like passion has to like percolate and come up, and you actually have to find what you're really good at. Yeah. Because if you're doing the thing that you're not good at, AI is going to take your job.
For sure. Yeah.
So get like really quiet really quickly. Because something's coming for you. Yeah,
totally. And I see it as a blessing as well. It's getting to create the space with AI. We could utilize it as a tool. So we create the space so that we could go deep within and find the charge so that we can follow that pulse and then do what we love and then let spirit just work through us, right? It's so cool. I see it as a blessing and nothing really to fear, and that's what comes up for me with that is I heard somewhere, and correct me if I'm wrong, that Shilajit, the word, means fear killer. Does that ring a bell at all, or have you heard that?
Yeah, you could say it that way.
Okay.
It's got several meanings.
Okay.
Blood of the mountain, destroyer of weakness.
Oh, I love that. Cool.
But
fear killer is like another one, right? Destroyer of weakness. It's so badass. And when I heard that, I was like, that's so cool. And I'm visualizing it now. If it's the blood of the mountain, this mountain is just like this stable, strong, energy that doesn't move. It doesn't get swayed by the emotions or the ups and downs of life. And that's its blood of its life force. It just has nothing to fear, right? It's like fear is this illusion, Where do you think fear plays a role in this life? What do you think it's really about?
For me, fear is separation, and it's the opposite to connection. So it's given God, spirit, the experience of something it can never be.
Wow. That's cool.
We can never truly be separate.
Right.
But we can create the idea that we are.
Wow.
With our mind.
That's really interesting to think about. Wow. So it's like God getting to experience himself as like the farthest thing away from himself. Correct. And just to realize like, yeah, that's not it.
And it's an illusory thing.
Right.
So it's fun to dance.
Right.
From Source's perspective in something that is so, I guess, like, so from that perspective, separation and fear is a gift because it's not true.
It's not true, right? Yeah.
However, it's giving that reality a chance to think that I'm David and you're Alex and this is Brad and we're all disconnected.
Right.
We're separate entities.
Yeah.
And that's illusory, but it's a beautiful experience to have as well.
Yeah. Because it's really fun remembering that we're not that, right? And then you kind of have to have that sour taste to really enjoy the sweet of it all.
And our senses are telling us that we're separate.
Right.
Which is also super clever. So we're born into a body and I'm watching my little daughter develop the senses. So that first month, she's still not thinking she's separate from anything. She's still thinking she's one with the mother and one with, because they can't see. They're on a different sense. You hear sounds and they like go like this. But obviously as those senses develop, the sight, the hearing, then they're then coming into that illusory perception of I'm separate from everything here.
Wow.
And I see that as the ultimate gift for God to have that experience. And then I sense when we leave the body, we're back knowing the oneness.
Yeah. So cool. What a cool,
so cool
game. Huh? Such a cool game.
Yeah.
So rad.
It's such a biological experience, fear, right? Because it's a feeling or an emotion.
Right.
And it serves us in a way to keep us safe. And just as you guys were talking, it's like if we're in that fight or flight, the way that the biological system's set up, it's actually perfect. But what it's trying to do is to keep us alive.
Yeah. I mean, if we knew we were just playing a video game.
Yeah.
And you just get another life when this one's gone.
Yeah.
Like it would be a very different space, right?
Right.
If you're having a bad day, you just go jump off a cliff.
Yeah. And there's movies, I'm sure there's a couple of movies where you just like, you start all over again. I think there's one. You start all over again.
Yeah.
But that's my point with some of that is like, the fear is like an emotional, biological response if we believe that we're just the body. And I guess that is what's the opposite of fear? Is it faith?
Yeah.
You know, it's what you're saying. It has to be faith. And that's where faith will always come up. It's like I watched and was by the bedside of my grandfather when he died. And I doubted his faith. He had no faith. And I like those last moments, he was asking someone for some help.
I bet.
So that's where I feel like the precursor for all of that understanding to build awareness for us moving into those areas of life is that's potentially coming for us. Maybe what we're talking about today, like life will be going to a certain point where we might be living forever, which would be awesome.
Yeah.
But, you know, that fear of like, it's a biological response. Is it fear or do we need to be more in faith? But yeah, it's a great, I love the question because it's so nuanced from a biological sense to all the way up to like God being infinite in its nature.
Yeah.
So, and I think it's like, I always talk about like, it's whatever perception of reality or perspective I have at the time. So if I'm rolling in jiu-jitsu and there's some black belt trying to tie me up like a pretzel, you know, like, or it's a competition, where's that ability to stay alive come from? So just, I think it's just awareness again is like, oh, okay, what situation am I in? Am I in it or I'm like observing it?
Right.
It's like.
Yeah. How would you answer the question, Alex? Because I love your awareness.
Thank you. I love both your guys' answers, and it'd be kind of like a blend of both. But it's really, the awareness that fear is the opposite of love or faith. You know, like this whole life, I like the fabric of this life. The essence of it is love for me, right? It's just like that's what this whole thing is about, and it's this amazing love affair with life. And then in that relationship, in that dance, it's like sometimes, you know, we pull away, and sometimes life is going through these flows, and in that there could be fear that comes up. It's like this illusion of lack, but it's really an illusion. But in that, it's like one gets to taste that emptiness just to realize it's false, you know. And then it's like, oh no, it's really this abundant, beautiful life. So it's like, how would one know that without the sour, you know, the sweet and the sour? It's part of the dance. And you know, some of the most amazing experiences I've had in my life, there was elements of fear in there, you know, flying airplanes and all this kind of stuff. It's like really pushing the limits. Even in my psychedelic journeys, I've entered these rooms, you know, in my father's house that were pretty wild. But it's like getting through those things is part of the journey. So it's like, yeah, it's just an element of the game, I would say. And it's a valuable element of the game. And also realizing, I'll say this and then wrap it up, is it's all created by oneself. It's all you know, I'm walking through the valley of my own shadow, you know? So it's like, there's nothing to fear except for the fear itself, really. So that's where I'm at with it on the journey.
That's beautifully said. I love that.
Thank you, man. Thank you so much. What I'm really feeling from you guys, and I'm not trying to oversimplify, but it's just something that I keep seeing in my own reflections is, you know, Brad, you keep going back to like the biological, like the body, right? And Dave, you're very, like you said, electrical engineer and very, you know, tapped in ethereally, and it's like the mind. You guys are the mind and the body, and together you're tapping into the soul of MANNA, you know? And let's say MANNA has a soul. What would that soul be like? What's the essence of that soul for you guys?
Yeah, for me, it's the source of all minerals is light, water, and then earth. So the elements. So the elements would be the source of MANNA, and then knowing that it's like we've got these beautiful elements that we work with: water, earth, light, space. It's like, what's the best quality, most concentrated, highest frequency version of those? And that's what we work with. So it's the most concentrated ocean plasma on the planet.
Boom.
All of the minerals from the ocean in a holistic, balanced form, not in isolation. And then same from the plant world with the shilajit. Per gram, there's nothing that's more nutrient dense than shilajit.
Wow.
When you look at minerals, amino acids, triterpenes, all of the different elements that are within there, the fulvic acid, the humic acid. So we've gone and found the best quality from the ocean, from the earth, or from the plant world, and then the most concentrated, and combine the two together. So one is white from the lowest place on the earth. The other's black from the highest place on the earth. And we combine the two together. So it feels like it's the soul is really those elementals in their most charged form.
Love that.
That can have the most impact on our biophotonic superconductor.
So cool. Beautifully said. I love it. On that note, I know you guys have some new products coming out. Do you guys want to share a bit about these new products and where the future of MANNA is going? Yeah?
Absolutely, yes. We released 4 new products on the 22nd of April this year.
Oh, cool.
They're in the market.
Wonderful.
And really it's an immune focus. So beta glucan is the greatest immune product that we know of, and it stimulates our immune cells to remove pathogens, which is huge. So it's also modulating and priming the body's intelligence to become more efficient.
Interesting. It's like updating the software or the hardware. What would you say?
Of the immune system.
Right. Cool.
Absolutely. Yeah.
Very cool.
And then, so that's beta glucan. And then our Immune Plus product is a combination of alma berry and rose hip. And the reason for that is they're two of nature's greatest sources of vitamin C, which is super important for the immune system. And most vitamin C's on the market are just ascorbic acid, actually between 90 and 95% of them. And over 90% of those are synthetic.
Yeah.
And they're produced from genetically modified corn syrup.
Wow.
So most people don't know
Garbage.
that. You can Google it or put it into chat.
Yeah.
What I just said's right there.
Yeah.
So it's not just a theory we have. It's the actual way it is in the marketplace. Now, the challenge with pulling something out synthetically in isolation is the body can't recognize it. So within our vitamin C from nature against the most concentrated forms, the only other thing is the Kakadu plum from Australia. However, they also have the bioflavonoids, the enzymes, and the minerals. So it's a complete envelope. It's a complete package that the body's receiving, and that can have those benefits with the immune system. So the Immune Plus, the beta glucan, and combining that with MANNA, which has the fulvic acid in it. Fulvic acid's incredible because it's small enough it can actually pass through a cell membrane. So it can take nutrients in, and it can remove toxins, which ties into like cellular liberation. So that in combination with the other immune products will allow for better absorption as well.
Yeah. Absorption is such a key part of it, right? Like you're saying, if you could take these supplements, but if it's not being absorbed by the body of the cell, it's just really expensive.
Correct.
Right? So yeah, beautiful. I love that you guys are tapping into that.
Correct. Yeah. And the other products that we've got coming out in August that we're manufacturing at the moment is rose oil, rose face oil, and oud and sandalwood face oil. So the reason for those is that's what the Egyptians and the Essenes were using back in the day to embalm themselves in when they were around high frequency items or high frequency devices.
Wow.
So again, because we're all around charge and frequency, rose oil, as an example, is around 320 megahertz. Now, a healthy body is around 70 megahertz. So it's 5 times, or another way of saying that is 500% higher frequency. Wow. So again, it's raising that frequency, raising that energy, which allows us to have a more coherent experience here on Earth. So apart from all the physical benefits of the oils, because they're the essential oils in there, we've also got the carrier oils of sea buckhorn, which is incredible, rose hip, which is incredible. Won't go into all the reasons for that now. It's on the website. But they're literally the best oils we can find. We get them directly from the farm, and the benefits to our energy, frequency, and charge are profound.
Fantastic. That sounds incredible. Do you guys have a name for that product with the oud and the rose and all that?
Yeah, it's MANNA Rose Face Oil.
Oh, cool.
And MANNA Rose Face Moisturizer.
Beautiful.
And same with the oud.
Beautiful. Yeah. I love it.
So the rose is really, I guess it's more feminine for the ladies. However, there's a lot of men that love rose. I often use rose just because it's so beautiful. Yeah. And same with the oud. Oud is woody with the sandalwood, so it's kind of more targeted towards masculine. However, they're both unisex. They're both beautiful. We use both of them, and you can even combine the two. Yeah. Rose with oud and sandalwood is just profound. Yeah. And they are the best and most coveted scents throughout time.
Wow.
And the highest end perfumes use those 3 substances
Yeah.
as, kind of the holy grail of perfumery.
Yeah, totally. I love scents. I love it. Obviously it's one of our senses, and it lights me up. It gets me those charges. And one of our business partners has the world's most expensive, award-winning natural perfume line.
Wow.
And he uses rose and oud and musk. And I remember being at his shop in Uruguay on LSD, and he was bringing me through each scent, and it was like each one was a journey on itself, because I was my creative mind was lit up from the LSD, and I was able to tap into each scent of it. And that's where I really, really, really fell in love with scent. So I love that you guys are going there with this and having the topical experience and activating the frequency. It sounds amazing. It's so on brand for you guys. And on that note, let's say, we fast forward to the year 2035. All right. It's 10 years from now.
I'm just working out my age back then. Just doing the math.
Let's have a little fun visualizing. Where's MANNA in 10 years from now? Where do you see the brand? Where do you see its impact? Where do you see you guys? Let's paint a picture here.
Yeah, I'll jump in. The suite of 13 products that we will have by August this year, that will be it.
Mm-hmm.
We won't have any more products.
Cool.
I feel like we'll do a lot more with gold.
Mm-hmm.
And I can see gold nanoparticles being through all of our products, inducing more coherent biophotonic light into our cells and into our DNA, and sharing that good news and our technology of the gold nanoparticles with everybody, so that hundreds and thousands of other brands can also provide that nutrition.
Wonderful.
Those frequencies, because it's my understanding, and when I was spending time in nature fasting, I was shown that these substances represent themselves at specific times of the cycle. And we believe we're at that time now. And the substances become abundant so that everyone has access to them, so that we can consume them and raise our frequency and become that biophotonic superconductor, which is what we spoke about earlier, where we're actually, humanity's becoming one cell in a larger cell of light.
Wow. Fantastic, man. That's so cool. I love that vision. Wow. Brad, is there anything you want to add on to that? I know it's pretty epic right there.
Yeah, it's pretty epic. It's one thing that it just sits with me. It's like being in nature and always being inspired by what, God offers up. It's just, in 10 years, it's going to be exactly the same, right? For me, it's just being inspiration and being inspired.
I love that.
And it's just to keep things back to that ethos of simplicity. And that's hard, right? There's a lot in those two statements. It's like, with what that's coming, there's going to be a lot to hold. So it's just sort of almost like God willing the capacity to hold that, because there's going to be a lot of adventures on the way. Yeah, so just God willing that I've got the capacity to be inspired and to be inspiration.
I love that. Yeah, creating the space within yourself to be inspired in spirit, and the discipline to keep it simple with all this stuff that's going to come your way. And that's a very honorable path. It's awesome. There's so much synergy here. I love it. I love what you guys have created. And I wish you guys, 100 years of success in all that you're doing. I see so much synergy. For me, when I created Eons is the closest thing to infinity. And every 100 million years, the universe sends out a pulse that changes our paradigm forever. And I believe that's what we're in right now. And I believe MANNA is the building block of this pulse. So just wish you guys all the success in the world. And I'm stoked to be on this journey with you as friends and brothers. And I hope I get the opportunity one day to visit you in your homeland of Australia. never been there. Maybe the Gold Coast, keep it on the golden timeline.
Yeah.
And as we wrap up here, is there anything else that you guys want to share with the audience? And in closing notes, you've shared so many gems here today, and thank you.
For me, just thanking you. Thanks for what you're doing with Eons. It's so precious. It's so beautiful. We met basically this time last year.
Yeah.
At a dinner.
On my birthday, yeah.
Yeah, on your birthday.
Yeah, it was awesome.
At a dinner at Arbor.
Yeah.
And, Brad and I walked away from that, and we think about you all the time. And we could feel the light and like the crystalline, the Christ energy oozing out of you. And
Thank you.
The reverence, the patience, and the relationship that you have with your substances, products, however you want to call them, is inspirational for us.
Oh, thank you.
And so, thanks for everything you're doing, brother. You're always welcome on the Gold Coast or the Sunshine Coast.
There we go.
Which is where we live.
Both are epic.
And we'd love to have you there. There's the most beautiful oceans and sunlight. So it's on brand.
Amazing. I love that. I received that. Thank you so much. And I look forward to taking you up on that offer and maybe coming out there with my future companion, on an epic love journey. And
so good.
Yeah, so good, man. I look forward to more adventures together and just being on this journey together. I'm so glad that you guys were able to come in today and share your magic. So thank you.
Thank you.
Awesome. Love you guys.
Thanks, Alex. Love you too.
Awesome. Cool.